What's up everyone, this is Hoodz right here, and I'm here to talk about one of the most famous, one of the most world-renowned animes out there in history, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Quick facts. Based on a manga created by Hiromu Arakawa, this is the second adaptation of the Fullmetal Alchemist. This Brotherhood 2009 version is definitely the more direct adaptation and a more accurate representation of the manga compared to the 2003's original series, the Fullmetal Alchemist. It has a total of amazing and very engaging 64 episodes, which is a good size of amount of episode for this type of anime, which is not too long yet not too short. So let's get on with the story and what it revolves around. The story mainly revolves around our two main characters, the Elric brothers, which is Edward and Alphonse Elric. These two boys are in a pursuit to get their bodies back after losing it for performing such a forbidden and such a taboo ritual, which is the human transmutation in the world of alchemy. In the series of Fullmetal Alchemist, human transmutation, basically it's bringing dead people back to life, and which in the brothers' case, they're talking about bringing their mother Trisha back to life, who unfortunately lost her life due to an illness during the war. The boys were really young, pretty much innocent kids. They just want to get their mother back, and it cost them their Alphonse's whole body and Edward's just an arm and a leg. And the anime would show you how it all happens, quite a few times, and you get to see it in detail, that not just what happened, and also the emotions, what they've been going through, and how it happened, the way why they became like that to begin with. As for their father, it's a completely different story. You would learn more as the series go on his purpose, why leaving the family while they were still young. And that's one of those, I guess, interesting aspects of the series. He's trying to find out where their father went, and what did he do all this time, and where has he been, and what is he going through. So that's definitely one of the most engaging part of the story. So all in all, as the brothers try to get their bodies back, it's really who they meet, where they go to, and the experiences and the lessons in life that they go through is really what the series is about. Not just in the world of in general, but the world of alchemy and being surrounded by the unfortunate events that is happening around them, which is a lot of civil wars, corruption, evil threats, and it unfolds beautifully as the brothers come across and tackle all these different situations. As the boys gain experience and learn so much about alchemy, they become such highly regarded alchemists, performing such a high level forbidden humans transmutation shows how much drive and motivation that these boys have to reach the highest level of alchemy. Not just obviously to bring their mother back, but also they have that just curiosity, and you see the passion that they have for it, to do to help with the unfortunate, as just part of their normal personality. To the fact that the military has showed deep interest on recruiting Edward Elric as a state alchemist, which is considered as the dogs of the war, or as one of the high level alchemists out there. And that's where he got the alias, the Fullmetal Alchemist. He would then become the youngest state alchemist in history at the age of 12. His younger brother Alphonse would then join in and assist him in many missions, which shows the bond that these brothers truly have for each other and having each other's back through thick and thin. What's so unique about this anime is, especially the way the Brotherhood has done it, is showing so much point of interest to its settings and background and history, and not just having there as a for the Elric brothers to do a mission on, or whether in their journey. But you also start to be really curious and care about what's happened to these places that they go to. Example of this is the civil war in the land of Ishval, exploring or knowing more about the land of Xing, which is they have a different type of alchemist called alchemy, and also the very dark history of the nation of Xerxes back in the day. I could easily say, and I'm sure a lot of people who've seen the series before would say, that the story is easily the strongest aspect of this anime. It's the main course meal, and it delivers the story in such a high standard with such great quality and character development and such fluent storytelling, which is refreshing to see. I mean, like, this is the anime that makes you care about the supporting characters just as much as the main characters. You get excited when they come in, and it's like, you're really part of this journey, which I'm going to keep mentioning because it is a journey, it is an adventure, and you get excited, when you see these supporting characters, how they interact, and how they fit into the big picture. Speaking of supporting characters, there's our leading lady, or one of our leading ladies in the anime, which is Winry Rockbell. She's a childhood friend of the boys. They grew very, very close to her. Winry's grandma took the boys in as they lost their parents, obviously, to their mom's passing and their father being away. That's when the Rockbells has really became close with the boys. Honestly, at first I thought she would really be an annoying character, but she ends up something complete opposite of that, and I really enjoyed her presence and how she contributes with the boys, and the genuine care she really had for both of them. There's also a touching story about her parents, and and her motives as well. Like, she's not just there just to be oh hey Edward, oh hey Alphonse. She just does. Basically, she's just not there to be annoying. You're typical. You guys know what I'm saying. When you just have that supporting character that just annoys the hell out of you, has no purpose, just there just because someone for the boys to save or something like that. It's nothing like that. She's there. She's very useful, and really contributes a lot in the anime. And then there's Colonel Roy Mustang, a state alchemist who is a direct supervisor to Edward Elric. He is dubbed as the Flame Alchemist because he loves playing with fire. He's got a great dynamic relationship with the boys, and you get to see that not just in a serious way, but in a very funny way. He's one of the funnier characters in the anime, and you see the drive in him as well to become a leader of the military and to make this world a better place. Which then leads to our other supporting character, and to me the other leading lady in the anime, which is Lieutenant Hawkeye. You can't really mention Roy Mustang without Lieutenant Hawkeye. They have such a close bond between them, and the balance between drama and comedy between these two is just so great, all the way from the very start and to the very end of the anime. She's the most trusted and the most loyal subordinate to Roy Mustang. She's there. She's not just the your typical pretty face annoying supporting character as well. She's there to set these guys straight. And at that point, there's points in the anime where you just fully believe she's like full badass, and I'm like, wow, damn, girl, take the lead. She pretty much takes the lead at some points, and that's what surprised me. And the kids are really engaging, that they're all working as a team with everyone having their own purpose. Now then, off to the villains. Now, I try not to get into too much of the villains, as there's a deep history and connections between them throughout the whole series, and what I can basically say is that homunculi are the main villains of this the whole anime, and they're artificial humans that was created to manipulate the human society and corrupts us. So so that leads to wars and conflicts and violence between humans, which adds to their motives and their plans moving forward. And the creation of the Philosopher's Stone is also a big part of that. like I said before, there's really intriguing and very engaging backstory between these villains, and I don't want to spoil too much. I may show some clips right here and there, you know, just to see how they do in action and how badass they are. But you know, it's a matter of connecting the dots. That's really the best part of it. So that goes by saying that the villains, you can't start caring for them actually, especially for some of these guys. You know, you really have that, you know, at least curious to say the least, and how they work, how they think, and you know, why do they do these things, and why, you know, they act like that. And I think that's something that's very hard to see, and you know, very rare in the anime these days. You know, having that very flat bad guy, and you just say, oh, he's a bad guy, he's a strong bad guy, came to do bad things. That, you know, these guys, although they do obviously have all of that, but they have their reasons as well, and each and every one of them have that, you know, flavor into it, extra flavor, I would say. Now, in terms of the animation, I'll be honest with you. At first, it didn't really grab me too much. I mean, when I say the animation is just like the art style, it felt a bit like, you know, just looking at it, checking it out, it felt like, oh, it's a bit cartoonish. You know, I was like, I don't know, if it's really my thing. Suddenly, you know, you start to see more of, you know, the actions. As soon as the actions start going up, and then you're like, oh, okay, you know, that got my attention. Then as these fights pick up, they become crazier, like an epic. Like I'm talking like, you know, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, you know, level. And you're like, oh wow, like that really surprised me, and how much, you know, how much action packed this anime can be. Because I know it was all about the story, but I was really surprised how much action, you know, it has for what it is. So you go down there, they're throwing it down, you know, Alchemist here, you know, clapping this, you know, circle this, you know, that, all that jazz. I'm like, oh, okay. And then all the brutal gore, violent stuff start coming in. I'm like, what the hell? Where did that come from? So I start off with this, you know, expectation of this cartoonish, you know, art style sort of thing, and, you know, just mainly watching for the story. And then next thing you know, there's like, you know, blood, gore, guts, you know, everything, the whole lot. You know, blood spraying here, guts coming out of everywhere, limbs getting torn apart, like the whole lot. So I'm like, okay, now you definitely have my attention, you know. So I guess it grew on me. Like the animation just grew on me. At first, like I said, I wasn't a fan, or I didn't say not necessarily bad, but you know, you grow into it, and in the end, after watching the whole series, it made me realize, yes, the animation, the art style, that's what's really suited for this type of anime. You know, the balance between the comedy, the drama, the action, you know, the background storytelling, and you know, it makes more sense to have a style like this. It makes the anime, you know, experience really great overall. I guess what I'm getting at, it has the right, you know, style and animation for the theme and the looks that they're going for. So it all makes sense in the end for me, and all thumbs up to me on that aspect. There's not really so-called arcs. You know, there's some sections obviously, but there's not really so-called arcs throughout the anime, as it's because the way the storytelling goes is the Elric brothers' adventure, and the whole series ends up on one big arc. But what I could definitely say is it's more of a matter of different settings, from different towns, cities, military bases, countries it takes place in, that provides that different personality and feel to where these boys go. The whole aspect of it is following the boys' journey, and makes you just want to go with the flow throughout. If I really have to be picky on, say, another criticism I would say for the anime is, I guess, the humor. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of funny moments in this anime. It's just that some of them are just, I would say, childish, or repetitive at times, like that humor that is just, it doesn't, it's a hit and miss at times, so it's not consistent. Especially if you're doing it over and over again, it doesn't serve that same punch, or you're just like, oh yeah, by the end, you know, once they start doing the same jokes, you're just like, oh yeah, that's it. So like an example is with Edward being such a, you know, small being compared to everyone. It's a lot of jokes about his height, but the way it's delivered, it's just repetitive, and you know, it doesn't land that insult as much as even in the end. So to me, you just go numb to it. Same as Alphonse being mistaken as the Fullmetal Alchemist, because duh, I mean, the guy's full metal. He's the description of full metal. So they would obviously assume that he's the Fullmetal Alchemist and not Edward. So just the same thing that goes out, which it's funny, but it's just not consistent, and it's a hit and miss in different situations. You know, it can be corny and quirky at times, that just makes you like chuckle at times, and it just makes you go like, oh, okay, cool, every now and then. Also, I found Edward a bit too cocky and arrogant at times, which is common. I know, especially in the young, you know, the shonen animes these days, having even the main characters with that attitude. But sometimes it's done in like in a bit of an annoying way. You know, when they so much going through, and people going through so much already, and you know, things happening, and sometimes he just comes off in that a bit too cocky and arrogant. This doesn't happen often, but it's those points that really prevented me from, you know, making him, I guess, a more lovable character or a more relatable character, or yeah, I would appreciate him a lot more if these were toned back just a little bit, in my opinion. But yeah, like I said before, it's still a funny anime, and you will definitely have some big laughs throughout. My personal take for this one is quite simple. I don't believe that there's a perfect anime out there, as different people will have different interests and different likes and dislikes throughout anime. But I can easily say that this is definitely one of the best animes of all time. To this day, it's still very unique. It's best not to have any expectation. I know it's kind of hard because it does have some high expectations, but I guess go into it with an open mind and just go with the flow with the adventures of the brothers and the journey they're about to have. Just go with it and let it take you for a ride. I guess that's the best way to say, you know, to maximize the experience of this anime. You know, don't be expecting that it's gonna be funny, it's gonna be drama, you know, super dramatic, it's gonna have so much action. There's a bit of that, but it's still spread throughout. You know, it's not a one-dimensional type of anime like most of the shonen animes that we see today. This show has so many different dynamics, and it hits you, you know, in all different directions. There's a lot of twists and turns, and there's also a lot of character developments going here and there. So the pacing can be really fast at times. And you're like, on one episode, like 3 shocking things happen. But then again, at some points, there's 4 episodes when it's just, you know, got that sublime, chill journey that they're having. You just, you know, a bit like a light-hearted experience. And at that time, you realize, oh, yeah, it's starting to drag down a little bit, but as soon as you're about to hit that point, it gets crazy again, and then you go through this roller coaster high, and that's what in my opinion, that's what life is. You know, it's full of unexpected events, and it's a lot of ups and downs all throughout. So when you look at it in a big picture, the way they paced it makes so much sense, and it connects beautifully. I like to point out the dramatic aspects of this anime as well. There's some scenes and moments in here that, you know, I will remember, you know, forever. And to be honest with you, I got my eyes a bit too, you know, moisturized and a bit watery at times. But yeah, that's what this show is about. It's it's really about life, the experience through different emotions with it. Overall, it was such a great experience watching this anime. I know I had some, slight criticisms, about the jokes earlier and the animations I had earlier, but that's just me being really picky. But all in all, whether it's the story, the action, drama, comedy, the whole lot, it's all in here. The big picture of this anime really deserves to be in the highest tier you can put it. And I'm sure a lot of anime fans out there would say the same thing that has seen this anime. So I would easily rank this in the super rank, S rank in my rating. Now despite this, maybe some anime fans out there weren't really a fan of it. Which, I can understand. Like I said before, there's no such thing as a perfect anime. If it's not your thing, it's not that. But because of the way this is done and how unique it is, I still reckon it really deserves that attention, a lot more attention than now. Like, some people were forgotten all about it and not even get mentioned to one of the greatest animes these days for some list. And I really wish it gets recognized a lot more. And if you haven't seen it, maybe it's not your thing, but I definitely recommend checking it out at the very least. Thank you again for your time. Please drop a like if you like the video. It would really mean a lot. If you've seen the anime, and tell me what you think down in the comments below. Would really love to hear more about it. Also check out my Instagram. Link is down below. Stay tuned, more contents to come, and subscribe. Join the journey with me. This is Robin Hoodz, and it's over and out.